Welcome to JWL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of anywhere else? And that's because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They say this all the time. They talk down to us. They think we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube, Twitter. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. So we're watching a clip of First Things First, talking about whether or not does Tua Tagovailoa deserve a monster deal. This is an interesting question. I have some pretty strong feelings about this because I think the answer is an emphatic no. And I love Tua. I want to see Tua truly succeed. I want to see people like Tua, just from a human perspective, succeed. And I want him to be more popular in the NFL than some of these other people, right? I like to see good people succeed. But the truth is a monster deal that inhibits the Miami Dolphins from building a surrounding cast around him has been proven not to work with many quarterbacks. If you want to find yourself in a situation similar, if not worse than the Dallas Cowboys, then go pay Tua a monster deal. Because that's the situation you're in. And the problem is that Tua, as good of a quarterback as he is not that true next level difference maker. He can't go rip off and barrel through the defense for a gotta have it 7-yard gain like a Josh Allen can do. You know, he doesn't have the arm strength of a Joe Burrow, the pinpoint accuracy and decision making of Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have the legs of a Lamar Jackson. He's just pretty good at a lot of different things, okay in a few things, and then you have the injury risk. And that's why he can't just sacrifice his body, which I understand and don't blame him. So I just don't see how you could possibly give him a monster deal. But I'm curious to see what these guys have to say, and then we'll break it down further from there.
Only plus 125 against Houston? Oh, man, boys and blue.
Well, they're fired up.
Down in Miami, checking on Tua. Burrow, Herbert, and Jalen Hurts all got contract extensions. Now it's Tua's time, right? Either way, he's excited about it. Take a listen.
How have negotiations been with the Dolphins? I know it's a big ongoing topic.
Yeah, I mean, they've been good. Right now, I'm letting my agent handle that. I'm focused on my family. I'm focused on continuing to better myself, better my craft. And, yeah, we'll talk more about that when that time comes. But for now, exciting times ahead, that's for sure.
Okay. I'm not sure what that meant, to be 100% honest with you, bro.
I like his new haircut.
Okay.
Hairdo.
Does he deserve a monster payday?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm so first, you've been healthy, and I like Tua, but you've been healthy 1 out of 4 seasons. I need to see you be healthy again. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So I need 16, 17 games this year. All right, no health concerns. Secondly, and I made a big deal out of it this season, but it was true. All right? They couldn't beat anybody that wasn't a tomato can. They were 1-6 against playoff teams, and Tua's performance was noticeably, markedly bad against playoff teams. Look at, he goes to 230 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, 7 picks. The passer rating plummets. All right, and then on top of that, when it's cold outside, which it often is in the playoffs, this 46 degrees isn't even freezing.
45, I'm not even wearing a coat.
Yeah, come on. You should be able to play in 45 to 46 degree weather. They're 0-6, and again, look at his performance. 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Wilds, you know this as a Patriots fan. in the playoffs, is it cold sometimes?
Yes, it's very cold.
Don't get soft
Not to
on
get
me.
a whole
It's
playoff.
cold.
Yeah.
You got to
Not-
be able to
not
win
to
in
get a whole
cold
playoff
weather.
game.
Can
Not
I?
if it's
All
a
right,
whole playoff
listen.
Well, they
Go down to
all won't
Miami.
be at home.
Wilds has this weird he calls himself the mayor of fair, and therefore he feels like there are certain guys who just based on, man, how would you feel about them if these games weren't on TV? Like, those guys we should be nicer to. Like, if it was just the raw numbers and there was no opinion, you couldn't watch them. You just had to base it off the raw numbers.
You're an eye test guy now, and I'm the numerical guy?
No.
We've traded seats.
Your entire Tua, you have become quite the Tua defender, and it is because you're like, what more do you want him to do? He led the league in this. He led the league in that.
We're like, I got to see him be healthy. He's like, all right, I played every game,
but
and I didn't get any concussions.
One
So
year.
I can show you a
I
quick
need
chart
2
real
at
quick
least.
because here's the thing. I'm not even worried about the health. So already stars, we got 5. Next group, potential or star trajectory. Herbert, Stroud, and the Prince. I don't want to argue about the Prince. It's my.
How are you going to say that Jalen Hurts isn't up there? That's so asinine.
It's my list.
Okay.
All right. Potential
I mean,
stars.
Stafford, yeah.
No, this will make sense in a moment.
Okay.
Potential stars.
Oh, right. Okay.
Caleb
Caleb?
Anthony
What?
Richardson.
What? Wait.
Hold on.
This
That's
list.
not.
Come on.
Just
I
wait a
object.
second, guys.
My
the
gosh.
important part is this group right here.
The Prince?
Solid starters. And here is the point. Those 9 guys at the bottom, you can win with as long as you're not paying them like they're stars.
Well, Dak?
Yeah.
They win. I mean,
But they and now the Cowboys
to
are
some
deciding
degree.
whether or not they want to actually continue paying him like he's a star.
golf?
Tua, yeah.
I mean, I just don't even understand. First off, Goff has been a great quarterback essentially his entire career. I mean, if you actually want to go dig into the numbers, I'm not going to do that. To think that Dak, Hurts, Purdy, and Goff are all on the same level as Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield is insane to me. Insane. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. Not to mention, we always love to pick and choose when winning and getting to an NFC Championship game or AFC Championship game or getting to a Super Bowl matters. We either say it matters and that's all that matters, or we say it doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts actually went to a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship game and won, obviously. Brock Purdy has went to multiple NFC Championship games, won, and went to a Super Bowl. And yet you have the Prince and Herbert, who I love, by the way. CJ Stroud, like, this list is just nonsense. I don't even want to unpack this too much because I want to focus on Tua for this clip. But like, this is just silly. I mean, this just really is. And again, you talk about stars because this isn't even saying like who's amazing or like their skill level. They're just saying stars, I guess. Like, you could argue that Dak is more of a star than Matthew Stafford. I have to imagine that Dak is more popular than Stafford. So I don't know if he means star as in their level of play or what. I mean, like, this whole thing is because like how you then you're gonna put you know, I'm dumbfounded by this. Dumbfounded.
Yeah, he's not paid like a star.
Right now,
he's not.
Yeah.
If you pay Tua like he's a star, you are putting a massive hard ceiling on the team. And
Keep going. I'm not getting.
No, your whole.
I've never hated a graphic more in the
The
history of
graphic
this
was
show.
kind of
Really?
That was
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
It's one of the worst.
It was a bad
things you've
graphic.
ever
Really,
done.
Wilds, are you a quarter?
Yeah, it was
I'm just
totally
curious. You're a
subjective.
quarterback wins guy.
I certainly like wins. That's why we play the game.
Okay, so your whole issue with that graphic, I would imagine, is where the Prince was. He has more.
I didn't
playoff
like where
wins
the
than
Prince
Tua.
was. I didn't like where Richardson was.
Caleb
I saw him
did.
play
Caleb
hat
too.
with
Well, those are potential stars.
We'll see.
Potential.
Jalen's
Jalen
not a
Hurts
potential
went to the
stars.
Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts?
Jared Goff's gone to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
You wanted Dak to win MVP.
Purdy
for a while.
took
Where's
Mahomes to
Purdy?
overtime in the Super Bowl.
They're solid starters. Right. They were able
Purdy
to.
at least
those
should be,
guys
at the very
were
least,
able
potential
to. Right.
star.
They
At the
were
very
able
least.
to go to the Super
It's
Bowl.
a horrendous graphic.
because they were not making any money and they had great teams. And now
Purdy delivered. And so did Jalen.
Right. He did. And with his great team, and I think now that Jalen's been paid like he's a star, there's a ceiling on the team. You guys were right Dak got paid like a star. There's a ceiling on the team. Goff is not paid like a star. We'll see on Purdy. If you pay Tua like he's a star, there will be a ceiling on the team. You actually agree with me.
Well,
You're
I want
mad
to see
because I
what
put
he does
Anthony
this year.
Richardson
No,
on
I'm
this.
just
an odd
want to see
graphic. It's an
the
odd
graphics.
It's my own list.
Yeah, this is like such a tough clip now because this seems to be like two clips, right? We're talking about Tua, and then now we're talking about this graphic. Fortunately, I gave my take about Tua at the top, so there's no more that really needs to be said about that. Obviously, I had no idea that this was going to unfold, and I pretty much had already just explained what I think about this graphic. I mean, you know, do you realize that Jalen Hurts, according to PFF, had the second best quarterback performance in the NFL since they've started calculating all this? So I think it's like since like 2006 or whatever. Second best. Second only to Nick Foles. So get out of here with this nonsense. He literally had one of the best Super Bowl performances of all time, and you want to say he is not a star. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. Purdy, back-to-back NFC Championship games, going to a Super Bowl. Goff, two-time Super Bowl. No, not two-time Super Bowls. One-time Super Bowl, NFC Championship. I just don't see how you can put. I mean, again, and even Dak, who everyone knows I don't love Dak. I don't think Dak's this amazing player. But he is a star. You know? He is a star. He's not on the same level as Baker Mayfield. He's not on the same level as Geno Smith. That's insane to me. Insane to me. I understand Stroud is on trajectory. Herbert is a star too. He just has not had a team or coaching. He's just been in a worse situation than Josh Allen, quite honestly. The Prince, I don't see how he's on star trajectory. I think he could be. So I could see technically how, in theory, he could be. He's like on the runway to get onto the star trajectory, but he's not there. And then Caleb Williams technically is a potential star, of course, because we know what the potential is there for that. So I can understand that. And I do think Stafford's elite in Allen, Burrow, Lamar, and Mahomes. But those quarterbacks, yeah, I don't even. I'm just trying to think honestly, because I just look at this and just think like, to put Baker Mayfield on in the same conversation as Dak, Hurts, or Purdy is insane to me. I mean, it just really, really, really is. Solid starters, blah 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 blah. I mean, what has Baker Mayfield done? What has Geno Smith ever done? It doesn't make sense to me. And you want to say that Jalen Hurts was carried by a good team, then why was it his performance that was so unbelievable in the Super Bowl? He's the one that rushed for more first downs and more yards than ever in the Super Bowl. I forget exactly what the stats are now at this point. He absolutely balled out. He's the one that got into the end zone to score the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie the game. That was him. That wasn't his team. So, and then there was a down year because he was injured and we didn't have an OC. Doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And then Lamar Jackson gets owned in the playoffs. Gets embarrassed in the playoffs. Doesn't that not hurt him at all? I thought Nick called, Lamar Jackson now the James Harden of the NFL. I mean, I don't understand. I'm a little confused by that there. Not to mention, I thought Allen wasn't good enough. But now, to try to make a point about owning Tua, he puts, Allen up there. Which is it? Is Allen on Mahomes' level or not? Is Burrow on Mahomes' level or not? Which is it? So, this graphic really is pretty terrible. And I would also put Tua above Baker and Geno. I mean, I really, really would. I think the biggest issue with Tua is the injury risk. And that is what makes it a little bit harder for you to play difficult, hard football come time playoffs. You know, he can't stay in the pocket extra long and potentially take that sack because, boom, his career could be done. He can't rip off for a 9-yard run and lay out his body on the line like a Josh Allen can do in a gotta-have-it moment. And that is what then holds a Tua back. And, you know, again, and then his arm strength is just not really there. And the cold weather thing is a real thing. It's a real thing. You know, I don't think that's blown out of proportion, to be quite honest with you. I really don't. And he's been on a good team with a really good offensive minded coach. So he's been put in a position to succeed. So I think we are seeing the max that we can get out of Tua. So that's what you kind of got to base it off of. But so I do agree that Tua is a solid starter, but I'm taking him over Tua or Geno every single day of the week. I'm also taking him over Kyler, even though Kyler, I think, can do some more exciting things on the football field. I'm taking Tua's like leadership, personality, you know, lack of I don't want to say trouble, because Kyler, just because he plays video games, I think I'd rather him do that than crash a car going 160 miles per hour on a busy freeway. But his combativeness is what I don't love about Kyler personally. But, you know, that's on the lower end of issues that I would, you know, take issue with. But yeah, I'm still just looking at this list, and I'm just trying my best to try to make more sense of it. So at this point, I'm just gonna leave it up to y'all. Like, what do you guys think about? I mean, seriously, since this is 2 and 1 and 2 clips, I don't even know how I'm gonna title this clip, quite honestly. But what do you guys think? Do you think, you know, one, do you think Tua deserves a monster deal? Number one, and two, what do you think about this Knicks QB categories? Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.